Hey, my name is Stephanie, and if you are coming across this, you probably have seen some of my TikToks about becoming a flight attendant. So I decided I would go ahead and record some of these for YouTube because I know there are a lot of people out there with questions that have not been able to attend the TikTok lives that I've done. I think I've done like 3 of them. I'd never done them before, so I hope I did them right. Anyway, I will tell you a little bit about myself and kind of how I'm going to proceed with this on YouTube, and then we'll get started and I'll record some more. So if you're looking to become a flight attendant, I hope I can help you, especially at, a later age. So, kind of how this whole thing started is I was already, I had a website established, and I had the desire to help women on their journey in their 50s, 60s, later in life, if they wanted to change their, just change. It's like the second act of our life. I think 50 and over is the best. Like, my kids are grown, they're out of college. Not that I didn't enjoy all of those years. I 1000% did. But now it's kind of like, okay, what do we do now? And I became a flight attendant at 48. And so I have been helping other, not just women, other people that also want to become a flight attendant, or honestly, just a change in their life. Like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. So I'll tell you about my story first, and then in the next part of this series, we'll get into breaking down the differences in airlines, what you need to expect when you're applying, what you need to expect even to become a flight attendant, or what the lifestyle is like, what training is like, what reserve life is like, what it's like when you get a line, how you're going to be based, all of those kind of things. But I just figured first I would introduce myself. So again, I'm Stephanie. I'm 50 years old. I went through training. I turned 48 in training. I work for a mainline carrier. There are 4 mainline carriers here in the U.S., and they are American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and United Airlines. I always wanted to be a flight attendant. In fact, I grew up in Michigan, and when I was 19, I was applying to American Airlines. And way back then, you had to apply like a physical application. There was no internet. You couldn't tell when the hiring window was open. So I would contact the Human Resources Office with American, and they would say, yes, the hiring window is open. And I'd fill out my application, I'd mail it, and I would miss the hiring window. So I started to college, and I realized I didn't want to be in Michigan my whole life. The college thing wasn't working out for me. So I just up and moved to Texas, because I was like, I'm going to get closer to their human resource office because I want to be a flight attendant. Well, things didn't work out that way. I got married. I had kids. I started a construction company, which I still have. And, being a flight attendant just was not in the cards for me at that time. So fast forward, divorce, all that kind of stuff, change of lifestyle, whatever. Still have a construction company. Kids are out of college. I had gotten remarried in 2019. And when I got remarried, he was like, you don't need to work. I make plenty of money. He liked the illusion of a stay-at-home wife. And so I just kind of let everything go. I did not go after any contracts in my construction company. I was just kind of a stay-at-home wife for a little bit. Fortunately, I had 529s for my kids because they were in college at the time, and I had saved, and I had some money, saved up, and investments and those types of things. So in 2019, I realized I don't think that this is working. And that was the first year we were married. So at that time, I applied to American Airlines because I thought, maybe I just need something to do. And he traveled all the time. And I was like, maybe this is just empty nester. So I actually got a face-to-face interview with American Airlines. However, the day of my scheduled face-to-face, and keep in mind, I hadn't told anyone I was doing this. Least of all, the dude I was married to, I didn't tell him. But the day I was scheduled for my face-to-face was the day that the airlines kind of shut down for COVID. Like, they didn't know what was going to happen. So I reached out to American. They said, withdraw your application. And when we figure out what this whole COVID thing is going to be, we'll reach out to you or you can apply again. But it'd be best to withdraw your application since you're not going to be here, since no one's going to be here for your face-to-face interview today. So that's what I did. Crack-a-lacked along through COVID and really knew that this marriage thing was not, it wasn't going to work. So I, in 2020, applied to, well, I take that back. In 2020, I attended a regional hiring event for SkyWest, or SkyWest is a regional airline. I attended their hiring event, which I thought was very motivating. It was very nice to meet people that were in the industry, meet other people that were trying to get in the industry. But I didn't stay for the interview process just because I wasn't really sure like where their bases were located, if those were places I wanted to be. And I also wanted to, I had the time and luxury to hold out maybe for a mainline carrier. So, but I did go home super energized and I applied to all the mainline carriers. American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines. And around August, I got an email from one of the airlines saying, hold tight, we're interested. We're inundated right now, but we'll get back to you. I want to say in November, I did my virtual interview. So Zoom interview. From there, I was offered a face-to-face interview. And my face-to-face interview was in January. It's like January 3rd or 4th. And they fly you to their corporate office. You do that interview process. And then I was given a job offer on the spot. So from there, you do your drug test and you start your background check. For me, my background check was a little bit more extensive because I had been a business owner. I had to submit my corporate charters. I had to submit my tax returns for my company and for myself for the last 10 years. Like it was a lot more involved. And I do have friends that had been like stay-at-home moms. So their resume was, I've been a stay-at-home mom. So they didn't have to account for all these years of employment. But anyway, so I got all that done. Still hadn't told the dude I'm married to that I've even applied to an airline. So obviously the relationship was not great. So I got my training date, which was it was like February 21st of 2022. And I should look and see what that day was. Anyway, 2 days before I was supposed to go to training, I told him, oh, BTW, I'm going to flight attendant training and I'm going to be gone for at least like 7 weeks. And we'll just see after that what we both want out of this relationship. I was 99.9% sure I just wanted out. I was not going to waste one more second of my life or one more penny that I had being married to this dude. So I left to go to training. I realize I'm telling you probably more personal stuff than you're interested in, but I know a lot of the people that have reached out to me that are interested in this are coming from similar circumstances where they are making a personal love life major change, a professional change. They're looking for, some help or some information on this journey. That's why I'm sharing this with you. So I go through training. Training is difficult. I'll talk about that in a different video. But I go through training. I find out my base is going to be in Denver, Colorado. I go home to try to figure out, so at first I was like commuting from Texas to there. I think I commuted like a week and a half, and I filed for divorce. And so then, I packed up all my house in Fort Worth, Texas. I decided I was going to live at my base because I was on reserve. My daughter had just graduated from college, and she was like, I'll move to Denver with you. It'll be great. We'll be roommates. I'll keep the dog while you're flying. So we did that. And it was great, except for she gets horrible elevation sickness. And she wasn't a big fan of Denver. So after a couple years here, I flew for about a year and a half, and then I was diagnosed with cancer. So she stayed. I have follicular B-cell lymphoma. She stayed while I went through treatment. And then once it was in the indolent phase, she was like, I'm the F out of here. And I didn't blame her. So she's back in Texas. And I now live mainly in Texas, but I keep a commuter apartment in Denver. So that's kind of how I do it. I am no longer on reserve. I'm a line holder with my airline, which means I have a set schedule. So every month I know what my month is going to look like, and I can trade in and out of those trips, or I can get people to pick up those trips. I also keep a place in Colorado because that's where my oncology team is, and I really like them, and I didn't want to move everything back to Texas. But I guess the main thing I want to say about this is that, I think a lot of this started these these TikToks and people being interested because I did a post about a lady that I was flying with whom I adore. And she went through training at 67 years old. She had been married to this piece of POS, narcissist, a-hole. And she was actually getting divorced from him when he died. And he not only left her with nothing, he left her with debt. And she'd been a stay-at-home wife. And so she was 66 when all that happened. She started the hiring process. She got hired and started training at 67. She's 69 now, and she loves it. She loves the people she meets. She loves the lifestyle that it is. She loves working. She loves the structure of it. She loves the benefits. And I'm that same way. Does it pay a ton when you start? Absolutely not. But for me, I had been in the construction industry for almost 30 years, and I wanted a break from it. And I had also been a business owner, and I wanted a break for that. I just wanted to go to work. I just wanted to work for someone and not have the headache of being a business owner and all of that entails. And I couldn't get hired anywhere. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I have this resume of work. I've owned my own business. I've been fortunate that it was successful. I couldn't get hired at Target. I tried getting hired at Pottery Barn and during the holidays. Like, I couldn't get retail. I couldn't get anything. But the airlines are looking for people with customer service background, with work ethic, with responsibility. And I fell into that. I will tell you that my particular training class was about 120 people when we started. And you had your kids that were like 21 to 25, but we had a large group of 40. I think I was the youngest in our older group, and I turned 48 while I was there, but up to late 60s. So it's out there if you want it. The thing is, you have to get started on it, get started on applying. You have to find out when the hiring windows are for the airlines. There's a lot to it, and I'm going to help you with all of that. So my intention of this first video was just to kind of give you my backstory, tell you you can do this at any age. We'll get into the qualifications, the yes and no's, all of that in later videos. Again, I'm just introducing myself. My My name's Stephanie. My son's 26. My daughter's about to be 25. They're both grown and on their own. I do have follicular lymphoma. It's in the indolent phase. It doesn't ever go away, so it's always there. I still fly, and I still have my construction company. I am active with that again. I wasn't when I went through, no, I take that back. I had one contract going when I was in training, but I wasn't actively pursuing contracts in my other business, but I am now. And so I am super busy, but I want to help anyone that I can that is looking for a change in their life, especially if you want to become a flight attendant, even if you want to do something else. Again, I'm 50. I'll talk to you about hormone replacement therapy. I'll talk to you about anything you want to talk about. I'm an open book. And I am also, a lot of people have told me that like my independence, I guess, can be, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, encouraging, because I know some people are afraid to just take the step, to jump into. I have not ever been afraid of that, obviously. Ask my ex-husbands. But, because when I'm done, I'm done. But, anyway, that's just a little bit of my humor. Let's get started with these. Like I said, I'm just going to start these videos, and we're going to start from the beginning. I'm going to talk to you about the different airlines. I'm going to show you where to go to apply. I'm going to tell you what you need for your cover letter and your resume. I'm going to tell you what the process is, all of the things. If you have any questions that you want to reach out to me about, you can email me, Stephanie, STEPHANIE, at startingat50.com. So it's Stephanie at startingat50.com, Stephanie at STARTINGAT50.com. You can find me on TikTok. It's at steph.helms, at steph.helms. You can find my website at startingat50.com. Again, it's startingat50.com. And Instagram starting at _50. So reach out to me. I'm going to put this series of videos together for you so that you don't have to try to find me doing a live to ask questions or get some answers. I know that when I was trying to be hired as a flight attendant, a lot of the information that was out there was very dated. So I will tell you that today is December 6th, 2024. And I am looking forward to helping you, and reach out to me if you have any questions, and let's get started.